So all-in-one racks are something that honestly most people in the home gym look for. There are so many options, honestly it gets overwhelming, but RitFit has always been one of the most popular topics for more budget-friendly all-in-one racks. So today I'm gonna talk about this M1 2.0 with the stacks or without the stack, and overall my final thoughts of if this is a good fit for people out there in the home gym. Stick around to find out. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, so before we dive into my final video of the M1 2.0 with the 1000 stacks, if you feel like this video is helpful, you enjoy my content, I do have an affiliate link in the description. You go through that link, you buy at checkout, and before you buy, use code RFLuke at checkout, then I get a small kickback to help me, the creator, continue making content for you guys. I do get these things for free, but a lot of people don't realize the time and effort it takes to research, go in front of the camera, editing, SEO, there's a lot that goes behind the scenes. So using a free link and then using that code at checkout is very helpful for creators. So don't forget that at the end of the day, it's not being a salesman, it's very helpful because we also have to make a living as well. And it's not gonna take away from my honest feedback on this. That's why I really like RitFit. They let me say what I wanna say. And this is coming from the heart of just knowing equipment. I've been doing this for half a decade, so I have a good idea of market value and what's a right fit, because I know everyone out there, is researching, trying to figure out. I get emails daily, messages daily, like, Luke, what do you think of this and this? Because there's so many options. And this is an option that I talk about a lot and get a lot of questions about for good reason. So let's dive into it, and let me give you my final thoughts. First of all, let's talk about price of something like this. Price always changes. Obviously, I have that code that can save you money, but even just without even knowing that, the price of something like this is usually, I've seen $1,000 to $1,200 just for the all-in-one rack without the stacks. So with the all-in-one rack, you obviously get your front uprights here for, doing your main Olympic lifts. You got your Smith machine, and you would have a plate-loaded option that can hold what's a little over 300, 400 pounds. But again, 2-to-1 ratio, though, is what you're getting. But what's also nice, too, is for that $1,000 to $1,200 is you also get some nice storage options on the back for all your attachments, your barbell storage on the back, and then you have some storage back here for your spotter arms, your dip attachments, and your J-cups. Let me tell you something of why I really enjoy companies like RitFit that do this. We're spending over $1,000, and you give us all these attachments. Your rack should have some sort of storage option. Now, obviously, it's nice, it's cool, it's aesthetically pleasing to put the pegboards on the wall to store your items, but some people just don't want to put holes in their walls, dude. They don't. Maybe a little nail for a flag. Some people don't want to do that. So I like that RitFit gives you the opportunity to store your attachments, to store your different cable attachments up here, and store your barbell that you use up here, which is huge. More companies need to make sure they're doing that. Again, but we're talking about RitFit, and I really, really think that's a huge aspect. And I think that's something that, I realized too. When I first started, I'm like, God, I cannot stand putting crap on the ground, leaving crap on the ground. It drives me nuts, So I like that aspect, and it's cool as they have their plate storage on the back too. They got 3 on each side, and they're actually removable, which is nice. You can move it up and down to wherever you want to put it, which is just a very nice aspect. Let's just talk about also what kind of frame this whole machine is and height requirements. So this is in my girlfriend's basement. So she's got traditional 96-inch ceilings, 8-foot ceilings. So this fits pretty well. You can see I'm 6 foot, my wingspan, probably, I don't know, this is how tall that would be, but I got plenty of space here. And this is around, we'll plug the dimensions of this rack for you guys out there. But a lot of standard basements are 8 foot. But people out there working with smaller footprints of 7 feet, you got to keep that in mind. A lot of people ask this too, is like, why don't they just give different height requirements for the racks? Because that's more money they got to spend. And if there's no proof of concept, it's not going to happen. There's not a lot of people out there that have short basement ceilings looking to build home gyms. It's just not common. So that's why a lot of companies don't offer that. Some do because they have the expendable money. They've been around for 20, 30 years. They can say, all right, we're going to build this rack. We're not too concerned. We don't sell a ton because we have a lot of inventory. But companies like this, they don't want to get burned. So that's just something to keep in mind with height requirements. 8-foot ceilings is probably the standard for basements. Garages usually are fine. Just keep that in mind. And then the overall frame, like steel-wise, this is a 14-gauge steel rack. I've caught myself in a few times, because there's so many influencers, Reddit, home gym, 14-gauge steel is not safe. Honestly, you're full of crap. You are full of crap. I would love to see a video of someone going under 225, benching on here and squatting on here and banging this up, and then just continues to bend. I think one post on Reddit, I saw something like that, but for the majority of people, we got to stop this whole, it's an influencer BS type of mentality, is that we need commercialized home gym equipment at home. For a snob like me who is 20 years in experience and I've gotten a taste of commercial gym equipment, of course, I love reviewing that stuff because there's a market for it. But 14-gauge steel for the average person, beginner, dude, you're going to be fine. Don't allow people to not tell you that. It will not cause safety issues. But I get people who, thinner gauge steel, it's kind of like a common sense phenomenon that like over time it could bend, but there's not enough research. There's not enough out there to know that's a true thing. And that's why for the average user or beginner user, the frame of 14-gauge steel will be fine. And again, I give myself crap sometimes. I might be weary, but it's because, again, I have reviewed all the different options. But I think from an outsider coming in, this is going to be fine for the average person just trying to get a workout at home with the 14-gauge steel frame. So price, frame, now functionality of something like this. I've used this on and off for a couple years. This has been in my girlfriend's basement for about 6 months. I'm here every weekend, so I'm using this every weekend. Honestly, guys, I think if we were just to kind of plug this. Now, obviously, stacks or not stacks. I use this with just 10s on each side, or I use it with just putting the stack to the lowest point. No matter what, this is really smooth. The bearings and the aluminum pulleys and how they have this set up, it's, you can even hear, it's very, 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 very smooth. That is a huge bonus of these machines. Now, this is just like minor things that I've seen that one video of this happen to this girl. What happened was she did not, you could see it literally says to adjust, then pull and loosen and tighten. She had this thing loose, and when she was going to grab this, it flew down and almost freaking busted her shin. So it's just like, obviously it'd be really nice just to have a trolley system that's just pop pinned, just like you just pop it out, drag it down, and just it goes in and out of the system. But when you're thinking about a cost-effective option, it's a lot cheaper just to do this type of style because I can guarantee it saves them a lot of money. This is something I'm more concerned than the 14-gauge steel that someone's going to get hurt if you don't tighten this. You got to tighten this, dude, because I've done it in the past where I honestly thought my shin was going to be gone too. Thankfully, I noticed it right away and then went up and tightened it. But that's just something to keep in mind with this trolley system. Now, you have, about 16 adjustments on the trolley system, which range of motion, you're going to be fine. You don't need 100 different adjustments. That's freaking absurd. This is not meant for a power lifter. I get a lot of adjustments, a lot of variability on here if you're someone who is a diehard bench press or squatting and you're looking to do a lot of weight. Well, here, let me tell you a little secret. Don't buy this. It's not meant for you. That's not what this is here for. This is the average consumer who is just trying to stay healthy. This is not for you. It's not. I say that because they are not, I guarantee if they try to put more holes here a better trolley adjustment, then the cost is gonna go up, and then it defeats the purpose, because this is meant to be a budget entry option, which is, obviously, a lot of people look for that in the home gym. But, obviously, besides the pop pin, I really like the trolley system. I really like the cable system. It's very smooth. It is. Now, people whine and crying, it's 2-to-1 ratio, it's 2-to-1 ratio. Yeah, that's just the name of the game with almost all machines is 2-to-1 ratio, but that's just something to keep in mind is you're only pulling half of what you have. But that's just the name of the game of most systems. Something else I want to cover too is like a huge component of this machine is the Smith machine. Honestly, I think the Smith machine is pretty doggone smooth for what you get for the price. I honestly have yet to have an issue of safety concerns. Honestly, I am also not looking to use this in a way that can cause a safety concern because it's not designed to bench a ton of weight. That's not what it's meant for. I've done a plate 25, dude, it's very smooth. I've had some Smith machines I review that it's very shaky and it seems like, do I think it's gonna crash and burn on me? It probably won't, but you worry about that. But with this machine, this Smith machine, it's easily my favorite in regards to the smoothness and the mechanics of it over any of the other ones that I've personally reviewed. And honestly, I've been very satisfied with that. I really love that they use the pegs. I cannot stand the companies that put those tiny little upright holes for you to connect your Smith machine. It scares the crap out of me. I literally almost died. It was actually from RitFit. It did not slot into the hole and it was stuck. Somehow I was able to get out of it, but just pegs like this is just a must for Smith machines, or it's like the tooth type of system, you know what I'm saying, that connects in, that like a Major Fitness has done that with theirs, which is a lot safer option. But honestly, I really like it. Now, I think people will whine and cry that, it doesn't go high enough so that, if you wanted to come back here and take stuff off here or pin things, you're gonna hit your head. Obviously, I've seen people hack and find ways. They get a bolt here and a bolt here that's long enough, and you can just pull this up and it hooks in. Sure, yeah, that's not a bad idea. If that's something that some people, I've seen comments and people say that, that's a really easy fix. I honestly don't see RitFit creating a whole new system just for that one concern. There's hacks for that you can put that there so that it's out of the way, because obviously, it's the highest it goes. I'm hitting my head, and sometimes I'm kind of an idiot. I'm not paying attention. I'm looking over there, and boom. But, you also did that to yourself. You should kind of pay attention to your surroundings. So one of the more popular things about this system is the ability to upgrade with the weight stack. So let me tell you my personal thoughts on, is the weight stack worth upgrading? You can get this system without the weight stack, and you can upgrade over time, which is nice to know. I love company that gives the customer the opportunity to put more to their system over time if they want to do that. Because some systems you're locked into the ecosystem, whereas some people aren't sure if they'll like that or not, or they don't want to spend the money, so that I like that they give the option of that over time, which I think is nice. Now, let's talk about the weight stack option. What you have on the side, they have this kilograms, but in the pounds, it goes up to 132 pounds. So 132 pounds, that's not a lot of weight. The standard you see with a lot of these all-in-one Smith machines is, their competitor like Major Fitness did 170, or, a lot of them do 200. But what that RitFit did is they put these weight horns here, so you're able to probably get, I would say at least, the most I've done, and this is just because this is the most I could have done, is I put a 45 on each side. That's 90 plus half of 132. You do the math. I mean, that felt really good for a lat pull down, which here's what we have to figure out. First is the price of these. RitFit always has the prices changing. One time it was $8.99, one time it's $9.99. Obviously, if this video was helpful, you have my code and link in the description to help you save some money. But you're gonna have to spend a little bit more cash to get these stacks. Why are stacks even remotely a good idea, to be honest, convenience. Convenience is one of the most pronounced ways. So people will spend money for convenience at home. Isn't the whole point of the home gym too is convenience. If it were me, honestly, I've done plate loaded machines. It completely just drove me nuts constantly figuring out weight, putting it on and off. That's just my perspective. Some people don't care. It does not bother them. They have it calculated in their head how much they want on each side. They're good to go. But the ease of use of just getting the pinning it exactly where I want it, and going into my system here to do what I want to do just takes up so much little time compared to, okay, I'm doing a chest fly. All right, let's see. Last time I had 2 10s on each side. Now I need to find a 5 and do that. Let me go find it in my gym and just do that. I like to get in and out and get my things done. There's a reason why I'm at home, and there's a reason why I'm not at a commercial gym waiting around for equipment. So in my opinion, I like the stacks. There's ways to work around that 2-to-1 ratio in the lighter stack here with the weight horns. And yeah, you could find competitors that have the weight stacks, but you're fighting the issue of the cable length. Is their cable length gonna fit onto RitFit's system? That's the thing. So it's like, should I just spend a couple $100 more and just get it, knowing it's gonna be compatible? It just makes a lot more sense. My opinion, it's a no-brainer for me to get the stacks. But again, some people have that money, they don't care. So you'll have to let me know in the comments, are you team getting the weight stacks in a system like this? Are you team just sticking to the plate loaded option? Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick little segment. I know people are probably wondering, Luke, what the heck is that on the top up right here? Now, I know a lot of people are always wondering about range of motion. Obviously with machines like this that are around, the height of trying to fit in an 8-foot basement. So a lot of people who are taller or, have larger stature, range of motion is an issue. My guy, 3D Fabrication, I actually did a reel with him, created I think it's his upriser here, so that this connects to your system and gives you enough slack to do a lat pull down or a high row to get full range of motion. So someone who's 6 foot, if I pull up a bench, I'm able to get that full range of motion with this. This does not come with RitFit. It is sold separately from an individual person. I'm plugging this because I love that RitFit gave him recognition and that he's a small business. So if this is something you're interested in, I will plug him in the description and check out my reel with him from 3D Fabrication. So talking about all of this, in this system here, I can go on all day about, honestly, all the different, components and all the different exercises and all that. I've done so many videos with this. I want to tell you something, and this is an honest truth, guys. I've seen all the budget brands that are very popular. I've seen them all. I have. You personally, the plate loaded option of this rack is easily, and I'm not even kidding, is the best budget option in my opinion. The fact that you have extremely smooth pulley systems, you have an extremely smooth Smith machine, you have a lot of storage. For that price, around $1,200, but if you obviously, we talk, you know what I'm gonna say. This again, I'm not selling you, it's just common sense. It's the best. It's the best out there. There's so many good reviews. Their customer service is excellent. I've seen comments saying their customer service sucks. I'm sorry you have to experience that, but as an influencer or even just as an overall person, they've treated me with the utmost respect. Some are out there who I've talked to with the partnership program we've done is the nicest person on the planet. There's no reason why, if you're looking at a price range of like an all-in-one system in the $1,000 to $1,400 range, this, in my opinion, is my #1 choice. And I think you guys will have to let me know in the comments what you think. Now, the weight stacks. If you wanted to get the weight stacks, obviously you're looking at around $2,000. And here's the thing, you don't have to get that right away. You can get it down the line when they're in stock. And hopefully, this video helps, and with their stock, they can start with tariffs, all this, they can get more things available, because I know a lot of people want the stacks but never around. Hopefully, over time, they can have more inventory. I personally, I would love to get the stacks. I think it's a great option for convenience aspect, and that's just my opinion. Again, let me know what you think of the stack option. I know people are like, oh, 2-to-1 ratio, stack's not enough. Oh, you're entirely your opinion. But at the end of the day, guys, this is just a rack, a company that I truly believe in. I know that they've been around for a while, and I know that they treat people right, and they are here to help you build a home gym. I don't know. They don't make me feel like they're greedy. They genuinely care, and I think that goes a long way for someone who does this. There's so many companies that are just sharks and they're greedy. They use you for views and then they move on. They're scumbags. This brand does not do that. So shout out to RitFit. Really enjoy you guys. And you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think of this piece. I appreciate if you do buy this. I have, my link in description, code, Amazon, all that stuff. But RitFit will always be covering this channel because I believe in who they are. I think they have products that are affordable, that will get the job done for people who are working out at home, an average person who's just trying to get jacked. So appreciate you guys checking out this video. Can't wait to bring you guys more content soon on Luke's Garage Gym. It's Luke from Luke's Garage Gym. See you guys later.